Hey YouTube, Joeboy here. So, today I want to talk about a very old theory, one of the first theories that I ever made, as well as one of the first theories text only that appeared on my channel. I want to re-talk about it. It's the first time that I've done that since then, and I think by understanding that theory, it will help you better understand where I want to take the theory next. I have a feeling that a lot of you are going to really enjoy this, so be sure to stick around till the end. This is about, as general and vague as I can possibly put it, the creators of the ancient weapon and their lost home. But before we can talk about this, let's first talk about the Oro Jackson, the ship of the Pirate King. So I would say, in the story of One Piece, there are 4 ships that are noteworthy, that matter. 5 if you include the Going Merry. You have the Thousand Sunny, you have the Oro Jackson, the ship of Gold D. Roger, you have the Pluton, and you have the Noah. But when it comes to the Oro Jackson specifically, a lot of people are on the fence as to how important it will end up being or not. We know that it was created by Tom, the same person who mentored Frankie, protected the blueprints of the Pluton, and helped Gold D. Roger in some parts or another become the king with his amazing ship. Now, I don't really want to debate whether it's important or not, but the conversation that surrounded this inspired this thought. And I think a lot of people ask this question: where is the Oro Jackson now? Now granted, there's not a lot that you can potentially speculate, but of the speculations that exist, I think most people put the Oro Jackson being kept safely in Raftel. Maybe Roger ended up leaving it there for whoever ends up finding the One Piece. But of course, we all assume that the Straw Hat Pirates are going to be the ones to find the One Piece, and I certainly do not think it makes sense for them to switch ships. I think that the Thousand Sunny is a superior ship to the Oro Jackson. It makes no sense to abandon her. The only other thought that you could potentially have is maybe something like the Blackbeard Pirates also finding the One Piece, finding Raftel, and then end up using the Oro Jackson for whatever reason. But this gets so deep into the territory of theories that it's just a thought. But I have a different thought as to where the Oro Jackson could be right now. If once the Roger Pirates disbanded and the Oro Jackson was retired, you were looking to hide it someplace, where would that be? If not Raftel. And I wonder if this place, the best place to potentially hide a ship, would be in the Sea Forest in Fishman Island. And so if you don't remember what exactly the Sea Forest is, I don't think that you would be alone, but it was essentially a place where sunken ships would cluster in Fishman Island due to the ocean currents. Again, due to these ocean currents, many shipwrecks can be found in this one place. From a purely theoretical perspective, if you're looking to hide a ship, it would make sense to hide it amidst the wreckage of many other ships. The chances of someone accidentally stumbling upon it is very, very low. But aside from just this theoretical thought, there are other things that are hidden within the Sea Forest. Firstly, we have the poneglyph of Fishman Island. And now it's the current home of the Noah, which the fishermen are looking to rebuild, after Luffy partially destroyed it. So it pretty much can already be defined as a place where things are hidden. It really does not seem like a stretch to speculate that more things might be hidden there, that the Oro Jackson can be potentially found there. And this leads to a very, very interesting observation. Remember that Tom was the builder of the Oro Jackson. He built this ship for Gold D. Roger. And if you are speculating that Roger ended up hiding the Oro Jackson in the Sea Forest, it isn't a stretch to think that he might have had a reason to do so, perhaps some sort of inspiration. Maybe someone is looking over it, protecting it. And so I want to ask you guys a question. Is it a coincidence that the only resident of the Sea Forest, a fisherman by the name of Din, is in fact the actual brother of Tom? If you're looking for a place to hide the Oro Jackson and someone to look over it, this couldn't be any more perfect. Even looking at Din's title, it creates more mystery about this Sea Forest. His title is the Sea Forest Explorer and Researcher. This seems to me like Oda is hinting that there may be other curiosities within the Sea Forest, just from the existence of this title alone. Why is he researching and exploring the Sea Forest? What's there? But anyway guys, if you're looking for the Oro Jackson to reappear and be relevant in some way, I think it makes a lot of sense for it to be located in the Sea Forest. At the very least, what could possibly happen is come the final battle, Rayleigh and the rest of the Roger Pirates can all easily find the Oro Jackson in the Sea Forest to sail on it one last time. But to be honest with you guys, all of this just loosely connects to where I want to go. There's a very interesting line that was dropped in chapter 648 in One Piece. After Luffy partially destroyed the Noah, the Sea Kings ended up taking the Noah to the Sea Forest. And this is what they said or thought. The ship is in a terrible state. Do you think it can be fixed? Is it still usable? Who knows? Our only hope is the skills of that clan, but times have changed. Now we can derive some pretty obvious conclusions from this. When they say but times have changed in that clan, there was clearly some master shipbuilding clan that existed in the past. Most probably was the same clan or the same family which built the Noah in the first place. When they say that their only hope is the skills of that clan, it suggests that this clan still exists today. And they ended up taking the Noah to the Sea Forest. The only resident again of the Sea Forest is Din. Din, brother to Tom, both of which who were master shipwrights. I think it's very obvious to conclude that Din and Tom are descendants of this great shipwright clan. And this is where things become extremely interesting. Because if this clan, the ancestors of Din and Tom, did in fact create the Noah, you absolutely have to ask the question, why was Tom protecting the blueprints of the Pluton? If he is a descendant of a great clan of shipwrights that were responsible for creating the Noah, maybe this same clan also created the Pluton and passed down the blueprints to its descendants. This all makes a whole lot of sense to me. We know that the fishmen were allied with the ancient kingdom. The mermaid princess, also known as Poseidon, was the ancient kingdom's ancient weapon. We know that the ancient kingdom used the ancient weapons. One of the ancient weapons was Pluton. We also know that Joy Boy, who has some connection to the poneglyphs have some connection to the ancient kingdom, wrote a letter of apology on a poneglyph to the mermaid princess Poseidon. This could have some relation to the fishman's desire to live upon the surface, and it seems incredibly likely that the Noah's purpose is to carry the fishman population up to the surface. This isn't really a theory because it's essentially told to us directly. It really just makes sense for this clan that created the Noah to have also created the Pluton, both for the purposes of helping the goals of the ancient kingdom and the ancient fishmen. But there's one thing that isn't entirely clear. If this fishman clan was in fact responsible for building these great ships, why is it that Iceberg tells us that the Pluton was constructed long ago in Water 7? Why is it that before his capture, Tom also lived in Water 7? Does this perhaps suggest that this clan actually came from Water 7? This was their original home. In the ancient past, fishmen lived in Water 7. Now, on the other hand, you could possibly argue that maybe they just used Water 7 as a place to build a ship, not necessarily their home. But I want to bring up something that I think is very vital to this argument. The fishmen have not always lived in Revujo Kingdom. They have not always lived in Fishman Island. The reason why all the mermen and the fishmen live in Fishman Island is because at the bottom of the ocean, this is the one place where the sun shines. As King Neptune says himself, this is the one place where they can live a quote normal life with the sun above. This highly suggests that in the distant past, they lived below the sun, i.e. not at the bottom of the ocean. They lived on the surface. And so if at some point in the past they lived on the surface, is there any hints whatsoever as to where this could have been specifically? And I would argue yes, Water 7. Now granted, when it comes to the tribes or the various races of One Piece, typically speaking, we get the impression that they live in many varied places, in groups. So it's possible that Water 7 is just one of these places. But still, I really do wonder if Water 7 wasn't an ancient home for fishmen. Perhaps even at one time or another, they coexisted there with humans. Humans and fishmen living together on the surface in Water 7. Only until the 20 kings and other humans who hated fishmen arrived to force them out of their homes and back into the ocean, where they would quote belong as fish. And so there's two other things that I want to talk about before I end this video. First off, we know that the fishmen dream of living up on the surface. That should be something that occurs by the end of the story, but people are not sure where it is that they will actually settle. I wonder if the fishmen end up returning to Water 7. Wouldn't it be fitting for the fishmen and mermen to live in Water 7, which is now halfway covered with water? And also, I want to bring up something really interesting, which is that all these various places, all these various islands that these tribes end up visiting, usually have some kind of king. But for some reason or another, Water 7 doesn't have one. There is no king, there is no ruler of Water 7. They're simply the Galley Law Company and its president, Iceberg. Maybe in the distant past, Water 7's king was in fact Neptune's ancestor, a fishman or merman. Are the people of Water 7 waiting for the return of their king? And lastly, I've speculated at length that I believe that the Ancient Kingdom was in fact a kingdom or a group of pirates. Is it any coincidence that Water 7 seems to be very partial to pirates, allowing them to visit and building ships for them? Perhaps even to this day echoing the relationship between the king and the people of Water 7, which were forced to leave the fishmen and the Ancient Kingdom. But anyway, guys, that's all I really wanted to say today. As always, let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree with anything that I had to say, or if you disagree, or if you have anything to add. Just share your thoughts. Like the video if you like the video, dislike the video if you dislike the video. Make sure to subscribe if you want to be notified for my future content. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.